Hi, this is Kevin again. And as promised, I'm jumping into actually, I think, one of my favorite times of history, the Renaissance, the Italian Wars. This is the army of Francis I, the Knight King. And I absolutely love the story of Francis and France, and of course the battles and the diplomatic relationships he had with Charles V and Henry VIII, and this entire intriguing set of cultural, political, military drama that unfolded on the world stage at the time. Absolutely phenomenal history. And, Francis being the Knight King, he was probably the perfect king for France for the Renaissance. Flamboyant, large courts, pomp and circumstances, loved the arts, loved Leonardo da Vinci. He was just that kind of king that just loved being king. Well, let's take a look at what the army of Francis might have looked like. The French at the time were heavily reliant on mercenaries. Yes, mercenaries. And I tried to build the army that way. I think if you take a look at it, you'll see that it has, your typical French knights, as you see here. From various companies, but mostly Essex. I really like them. You've got Eastern Cossacks or people, you've got crossbowmen and arquebuss from all over France, Flanders, even some from Scotland. You have them coming in from Switzerland. You've got the black band there that you see up front. And I really enjoyed just putting together this army of different mercenary states, Italian states. And what's nice about building this army is that you can switch in all kinds of different types of troops from different nations at the time, because they were not very loyal. So you had the city-states of Italy, you had the Papal States, you had Naples, Milan, Venice, Genoa, you had France, you had Spain, Germany, Germanic lands, the Swiss, the English, and mercenary bands coming in off of the 100 Years' War. It really is a very colorful, very exciting type of army to build. You could even add some spice to it and really bring in some really nasty things from the Ottoman Empire, all kinds of things. But the Italian Wars is a history unto itself, very difficult to understand. Also called the Habsburg-Valois Wars, and I tried to create it that way. Each knight is painted individually. I'm not a master painter like some might think, maybe even historically incorrect in some cases, but I think overall the army has a really nice effect. And, the Italian War stretched over a long period of time, so some of these things are a little bit early, some are a little bit late, but, in general, the figures that are produced today are absolutely gorgeous. I didn't have those around when I first started this army. Most of these, as I mentioned, are Essex, but I did bring in some cuirassiers, like the artillery that you see there. There's some from Merlington. There's some old, Blue Moon mixed in, although those are a little bit large, but I think that they work in some instances. When I started doing these YouTube channels, I really was taken back that there's not a lot for us wargamers to look and see, what does an army look like? How did somebody else build that? What did they use? And so it's kind of nice, right, to just go and see what people have built. What did they do? What did they use? What colors? What flags? And then come up with your own creativity. And that's exactly what I did here. I just used my imagination in some cases, historical references on others. But I think for my fellow collectors and for my fellow gamers, it's nice to have a library of armies to go to and to look. And I hope that you enjoyed this one from Francis I. The next one I'll be putting up is either the Italian states or maybe the army of Charles V, the Imperials. But I really appreciate you subscribing and being with me. Thanks.